Good morning, everybody. Shefa Baruch V'Atzlocha. Shiur is going to be Leilui Nishmat HaKedoshim. וידבר אלוקים אל משה ויאמר אליו אני השם. פרשת וארא. וארא אל אברהם ואל יצחק. And here we want to go back a little to the end of the last parsha. And what's happening is, Kodesh Baruch Hu sends Moshe Rabbeinu to Am Yisrael. Comes to Am Yisrael. I came to take you away from Egypt, take you out from slavery, and save you. Everybody's happy. He goes to Pharaoh, and what happens then? Pharaoh, instead of releasing Am Yisrael, is making things harder. And of course, the people don't like it. And they approach Moshe Rabbeinu and says, what have you done to us? Instead of doing the good, you did the worst for us. And Moshe Rabbeinu approaches God. And he says, וישוב משה אל השם ויאמר השם, למה הרעות עליו? Why did you make things worse? Why did you do the bad to the people? You sent me to save them. Instead of saving them, you're making things worse. What's going on here? First of all, this is a chutzpah. How dares Moshe Rabbeinu to ask the Kodesh Baruch Hu a question like this? What does it mean? How dare you? And the answer of the Kodesh Baruch Hu is very strange. You will see what I'm going to do to Pharaoh. What? This is an answer to a kid. Said, why have you done this? Why did you hit him? I'll show you what I'm going to do to him. What's the answer? And now, and God talks to Moshe Rabbeinu. It's a lot of explanation to do here about what's going on here. But the main thing is to understand and realize that, first of all, Moshe Rabbeinu is not doing this because he's got something, a complaint to God. No, chas v'shalom. He realizes and he knows that God wants the good and the best for Am Yisrael, but he wants to understand what's going on here. Because you sent me, and he's doing it from the love of God and the love of Am Yisrael. We'll see later on. He is willing to giving his life, everything for Am Yisrael. This is this ideal leader. So, of course, Kodesh Baruch Hu is not punishing him, though people say that he did. He's not punishing him because he knows that it comes from love. And you're answering, but what is the answer? He says, I reveal myself to you in a different way from that I revealed myself to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. So first of all, understand, it doesn't mean that Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov are less important than Moshe Rabbeinu. And this is a very important and crucial point to understand anyway, because whatever it is, and whatever the job is, and whatever your talent is, God gives you exactly what you need for the job. In other words, there are times you need to have this, there are times you need to do that. And God gives you exactly the tools to deal with the situation. And we see this, by the way, later on, when maybe we'll find it now, because it's also a very important thing. Telling us, okay. It says, who Aaron or Moshe? After he's telling telling him that there was one from here and there and all the story, he comes again to Moshe and Aaron, and he says that when, like you said, Elazar ben Aaron took this girl from Putiel, etc. The whole story and games. And then he gets to Moshe and Aaron, and look what the Torah is saying. Who Aaron? What is who? Who is in singular? You're talking about two people. It says him, not who. Who? Moshe ואהרון. אשר אמר השם להם הוציאו בני ישראל מארץ מצרים. He told them to take Am Yisrael out of Egypt. Him, and now it's in plural. Him, they are speaking. Not he is speaking, because it's two. It's them. להוציא את בני ישראל מצרים, and look what's happening now. Who Moshe ואהרון? Again, the Torah is changing to he is Moshe ואהרון. He Moshe ואהרון. Like it's in singular. What's going on here? And another interesting thing, in the beginning, Aaron is before Moshe, and in the end, Moshe before Aaron. What is the Torah trying to tell us is a very important point. Aaron and Moshe are equal. Yes. That's why they're doing the same job, but we need both of them to fulfill, or let's say to do the job completely in full. We need Moshe and Aaron. And how do we compare Aaron to Moshe, which although come Israel ke Moshe, oh, there is nobody like Moshe Rabbeinu in Israel. But on the other side, the Rambam says that everybody can be like Moshe Rabbeinu. And what does it mean? He says, "No, come Israel, Moshe." There was nobody like Moshe Rabbeinu, but that's exactly the point. As we said, each one was getting a potential and the tools to deal with the potential and to do the best in the eyes of God. In other words, if we fulfill our potential, we are like Moshe Rabbeinu, because the idea of Moshe Rabbeinu is he fulfilled his job in his life. He uses the talent that he got and the tools to get to the completion of the whole thing. He completed his job. And Aaron, the same. So the Torah is telling us both of them fulfill the job, fulfill the potential fully. And who? Moshe and Aaron. They are like one. And who is more important? The Torah says, in the beginning, Aaron. The beginning, Aaron is more important than Moshe, is before Moshe. And then it's, first of all, is Moshe and then Aaron. What an unbelievable idea and something to take and understand, that each one of us can be at the level of Moshe Rabbeinu. And nevertheless, if we do a job together and each one of us is doing the job the best he can in order to fulfill the whole thing, like a couple, a man, a husband and a wife, each one of them is giving something and then they whole. Like it's written in Sefer Bereshit. The Kodesh Baruch Hu created man. What is it written? Zachar u'nekeva bara otam. But the thing is, what is written in the beginning is in Sefer Bereshit. I found it. Vaivra Elokim et Adam betzalmo b'tzelel Elokim bara oto singular. Zachar u'nekeva bara otam. And then the Torah is telling him, a male and a female, he created them. In other words, here also we see that they were one, and then he separated them, and when the couple gets together, they are again one. How do they become one? When they fulfill, each one of them, the job of being together, and each one gives what he's got into this partnership. And this is in marriage, and this is in life, this is in business, it's in everything, whatever it is. And this is what the Torah is telling us here. You would think Moshe, wow, Moshe Rabbeinu, yes. The Torah tells you, yes, Moshe Rabbeinu is great, but Aaron, his brother, is also great. And nevertheless, they are both in the same greatness. Why? How do we compare? Very simple. Each one of them did his part in this big job of taking out Am Israel from Egyptian. And it doesn't matter what and what. It's using the tools, the potential that God gives you in the best way. Okay, so now we can come back and understand what is happening in the beginning when we see that God is answering Moshe Rabbeinu in a very interesting way, and he's telling him that he revealed himself to him in a different way from revealing himself to Abraham, Yitzchak and Yaakov. And as we said, doesn't mean that this one is greater than the other, but each one of them got the right potential, the right tools in order to use them in the right place to do his job. And Moshe Rabbeinu now you have a different way that God reveals himself to you, because you are going to save Am Yisrael from Egyptian. And here we need all those miracles and things that have never happened in history, because this is the basic. Yetziat Mitzrayim is the basic of our tradition, of our emunah. And the problem is that look what he's telling him. After what's happening, he's sending, okay, so now you have to go to Pharaoh and tell him that he has to save Am Yisrael. But look what he's saying. Lachen emor livnei Yisrael ani Hashem. You're going to tell the children of Israel that I am God, that took you out under the suffering of Egypt, etc., etc. And I will bring you on this. Here we have, and then what's happening? We have the 4 ways of Geulah. Not going to go into it. וידבר משה כן בני ישראל, and Moshe Rabbeinu talks to the children of Israel, ולא שמעו על משה. They don't listen to Moshe Rabbeinu. בקוצר רוח ועבודה קשה. They had no patience to listen, and because they had a hard job, וידבר השם למשה לאמור, okay, go and speak to Pharaoh. בוא דבר אל פרעה מלך ישראל וישלח את בני ישראל מארצו. וידבר משה לפני השם, משה רבנו saying, you want me to go to Pharaoh and tell him to take out Am Israel, to send Am Israel out, and בני ישראל לא שמעו אליי, איך ישמעני פרעה? What do you mean? The children of Israel didn't listen to me, so why would Pharaoh listen to me? Says Rashi, this is one of the on the 10 Kal Vachomer in the Torah. Kal Vachomer is that when you bring something that you can learn, like a hard thing, and you can learn from it the easy thing. In other words, he said, if, what Moshe Rabbeinu is saying, if they didn't listen to me, so of course, Pharaoh won't listen to me. And what Kal Vachomer is this here? What's the answer? Well, what is Pharaoh suffering from problems? He's got no patience. He is in agony. He is working hard. He's a slave. No. So what Kal Vachomer is here? The children of Israel don't listen because they've got it hard. So of course they're not listening. But Pharaoh, he's got no problem. Nevertheless, we're talking here about Pharaoh that doesn't believe in God. And that's exactly the point. 1 minute. Let's see, what is the Kal Vachomer here? There are a lot of explanation about this Kal Vachomer, because really we don't think about it on the surface. If the point is Kotzer Ruach v'avodah kasha, working hard and no patience, so Pharaoh's got patience and he's not working hard. So there is no Kal Vachomer. But the Kal Vachomer is like this. It says Or HaChaim HaKadosh, Am Israel believe in God. And he's telling them you're going to be saved. So believing in God, and also a good thing that he's telling them, an unbelievable thing, you're going to be saved. So if they don't listen, why should Pharaoh listen? Pharaoh doesn't believe in God. He's got no emunah. And if he has to free Am Israel, he's going to need to send his people to do the job. So of course he's not going to listen. So this is a beautiful Kal Vachomer. But this Kal Vachomer brings us to a very important point. What happened to Am Israel? Why didn't they listen? Those good news, if they really believers. But that's exactly the point. How much do you, what is the level of your belief? What is your emunah? And one of the explanations says a beautiful thing. It says that the problem was with Moshe Rabbeinu, not with Am Israel. Because Am Israel didn't listen to Moshe Rabbeinu because he's enthusiastic. He was very excited in the beginning. Oh, wow, we're going out. And now, after what happened, the excitement wasn't there. He was like talking like, not with the excitement. And this way to talk to people that are in slavery, nobody's going to listen to you. So there are a few very important points here. When you want to sell something to somebody, first of all, you have to believe in it. Then you have to be excited about it. And there's another thing. You have to know the approach, how to talk and convince the other. For example, I had this lady phoning me, trying to sell me something. She talked very dry, no excitement. And when I asked her a question about the product, she didn't know what to tell me. Believe me, even if I wanted this product and I needed it, I would not buy it from this girl. The same thing is, years ago, I brought orthopedic chairs, ergonomic chairs, orthopedic chairs, really good quality, good stuff. And it was very hard to sell them because they were very expensive. And then I realized that I don't understand what it's all about. So I start learning what is this idea of ergonomic, orthopedic, in the chairs, what is so good there. And the more I learned and understood what it's all about, I believed in it. I said, wow, this is an unbelievable product. So with this belief that the product I've got is the best product that can be, I tried to sell, and I was very successful. Things have changed. And we started selling quite a lot of them, though they were expensive, because I know what I'm selling, and I believed in it, and I was excited. And of course, I knew how to tell those things to the people. You know, you have to know, because Moshe Rabbeinu talking to Am Yisrael, he thought, maybe I'm talking too high to them, and they don't understand what I'm talking about. Now I'm going to go to Pharaoh. He's not going to understand me either, because if I'm Israel, I was talking too high to them and they believe in things. So I have to lower the level of speaking. In other words, again, we need those things in order to sell a product, spiritual or physical. We have to believe in the product, understand the product, know what it's all about, and excited to sell the product and to approach the person in his level, not talking above him and not underneath him, in his own level. If you do this, you are the best salesman that can be. And this is the big lesson that the Torah is trying to tell us. When you believe, in order to increase your belief, you have to understand, what do you believe? What is your belief? Who is God? To learn on God, to understand He created everything, and understand that God is the one behind everything. That's the whole idea of Yetziat Mitzrayim. To prove to us that God is the one who created the world, because when the world was created, there was nobody there. But now, in Yetziat Mitzrayim, we will see those miracles that's happening, that's showing us, first of all, the 3 first plagues are going to show us that God exists. There is a God. Then, the second part is going to show us that God is not only in heaven, He's everywhere. He's looking after us, Ashgacha Pratit. And then we will understand there is nobody else, En Od Milvado. And this is our belief. The more we learn, we see the miracles, understand that God is behind it. So now we know who God is. And now we know that God wants the best for us. And our belief in God, the emunah, increases. But now we have also to explain those things to our children. And this is, we have to know how to tell it. As we say in the Agada, there are 4 sons. I have to know how to speak with each one of them. Each one of them's got a different answer. So, not only in the physical world, also in the spiritual world, we need to have a belief, the knowledge, the excitement, and the way to approach it and to tell it to others. All the best, and Shavua Tov.